again, my insane friends. Welcome back to the Sane Enterprises channel. Thank you for watching another one of our home improvement and or real estate videos. Remember, when you're watching these videos, do not do anything you see or hear in our videos. You could end up burnt, bruised, or bleeding, just like me. Oh, and in the description, there's usually handy affiliate links to tools and stuff we use to maim and injure ourselves, mostly. So, if you want to be maimed and injured, buy some of these and do the same thing. Enjoy the video. Wondering how to replace these rafter tails, these rotten 2x4s that are in a bearing wall. Right here you can see the rot from the roof leak. Years and years, possibly decades. Now, first of all, we put some rigging under the house to support the floor. So under the floor you can see we replaced one of the joists because it was a little bit rotten here on the tip of this end, and this floor needs to be very, very strong for our rigging. We also put an extra temporary post here because we're going to be pushing down the floor there. We put this extra temporary post here and shim between there and all of these joists so we don't damage any of the joists. Back to the inside. Then we built this rig here, which simulates a bearing wall. Some 2x6s and some 2x4s. And we made them about a ½ inch too long and wedged them in there so that they're really pushing up on these rafters, the ceiling rafters. Then we reinforced some of the ceiling rafters, scabbing onto them, especially on this end, because that's going to come into play later. But first of all, this needs to be supported, and then we have this rig so that we can push up and take the weight off of these rafters and take all that weight off of these 2x4s. And as you can see, went up that high, which is 2 or 3 inches, and that gave us, it only translated to 1.5 inches up here. That's how far down it was pushed down into the 2x4s. We may end up going a little bit higher once we get these 2x4s out of here, but first we're going down the length of the 2x4s with a metal bit, cutting all the nails loose in here so that we don't damage the siding on the outside when we pull the 2x4s out of here. Okay, you can see here where we got that one 2x4 out. We're going to be getting these 2x4s out as well. You see where we cut the nails all the way down. And we did that with the metal blade on the Ryobi brushless, cordless reciprocating saw. We're still using the aftermarket lithium-ion batteries. They are holding up really well. Like I said before in my tool review, those non-Ryobi brand batteries do not last quite as long as the Ryobi batteries, but they're still lasting a good long while. With 2 of them, we make it through a whole day's work. But the ones that really shine are the Milwaukee ones that we're using with the Milwaukee circular saw. One of those 5 amp hour batteries is lasting all day long. Now that one's cut loose and is out of there as well, and we've got one more right here that's got to come out. And obviously every time you do something like this, you can end up with having to do more than what you'd hoped. We're going to have to put something in here to replace these slats that are rotten, and we knew we were going to have to do these 2x4s up here. so we're going to have to do those as well. But also all this. Okay, still the same battery, and we've cut all these nail heads. There are two 2x4s over here full of nails, this 2x4 over here, all of these. And now we've got to switch to a wood blade and cut this here and over here. We're going to replace these, and then we're going to put not only the 2x4s that we took out, we're going to replace them, but we're going to put quite a few extra 2x4s in here as well, because all of these come to the same point. And I'm not sure why there was only 3 2x4s here. That's the same amount of 2x4s that would have been here if this was just a regular window without this, all this weight right here in this one spot. Okay, here's what it looks like with the toe board cut out, all the 2x4s out, the top plate out, and we went back and cut the nails more flush, cut more off of the nails. And we did deplete one battery. This is the second battery. We started on that. This one's depleted. So far, doubled up on the toe board, cut the rotten piece out, replaced it with a nice new piece, and then another piece on top of it. So we're doubled up on the toe board, which is not necessary, but I like a little added strength. I cut out the top plate, and I put a 4x4 in place of them. And then I put an extra piece of 2x4 down here to span from this 2x4 to this 2x4. I can screw it in from this side and from this side. And mostly this gave me something to hold the 4x4 up in place until I get 2x4s, but then it also adds strength and allows me to go to this good meat here and here, which there was good meat all the way to about right here and all the way to about right here. I wanted to really get into good wood, so I cut this way back so I really get into the good wood. There'd be no rotten wood there at all. And of course, remember we had a lot of rotten wood here. I replaced that with something of the same thickness, and because the siding on the outside needs something to attach to. All right, now here I didn't just put this 2x4 back in. I put these two 2x4s together as a T and screwed them together so it'd be very, very strong and under a lot of weight. No matter how much weight this is, this 2x4 cannot bow one way or the other because it's made into a T. And I'm going to do another T right here because this is our point where it's 16 inches from this 2x4. So it needs a 2x4 here so that you have a consistent, 16 inches, 16 inches, and 16 inches. But I'm going to make this into a T as well because you see where it's positioned right under here, and put it right up against this one. And so we'll have 2 T's right here, giving a lot of strength. And then this strength comes up and spreads out over this whole area right here. And this, we're not doing the rafter tails yet. It's going to be the next video, because remember, this video is all about shoring up, putting things up, rigging things up, and getting the 2x4s in here and replacing them in the wall without causing any further damage. And down here there was a piece of the subfloor that was rotten, and we replaced it as well, all the way up into the wall over here. We had to make a nice angle cut on that, and underneath here where you can't see, we had to make another fancy cut. But we can do fancy cuts just like we did with this piece. Fill that in. Okay, now here's the finished product. You'll see there's 2 T's in here now. 2 T'd 2x4s, which is actually 4 2x4s. But the 2 are T'd together before. And then there's, of course, a 5th 2x4 because it's the cripple stud for the window. And we started with the floor, shoring up the floor, and putting a new joist in the floor. And those temporary posts under here strengthening the floor, which will come out eventually. This rigging here to help hold up the ceiling joist, which we reinforced the ceiling joist as well. That for later, because that's going to hold up the rafters. We haven't done the rafters yet. Right now we're doing the wall supports. the 2x4s in the wall. And now we've got the 2x4s in the wall. They're very strong, and they can hold the weight of all these rafters and this hip joist coming down and putting a lot of weight right here. We've also got a 4x4 for a top plate, and then we've got an additional 2x4 here, just in case. We have 2x4s every 16 inches on center, so when we're doing drywall, we won't have any edges that aren't supported. And once the next project is going to be replacing these rafter tails and a big portion of this hip joist up here, which is going to require more rigging up here, similar to what we've done down here, but we have to leave this rigging in here while we do it, and we have to leave our additional posts underneath the floor so we don't damage the floor and we don't damage the ceiling joists. And that will be a whole nother video in case you're interested in how to do that. We also have this rig right here that's been very instrumental in being able to lift this and get the distance we need. See, we went up about 2.5, almost 3 inches here, and that gave us about 1.5 inches of lift over there. Which it seems like, you know, you do 3 inches here, you'd have 3 inches there, but that's just not how it works out. And we didn't put the concrete blocks directly on the floor. We wanted to spread that out by laying these 2x6s here, spread that pressure out. And again, if you remember from looking down here, we have an extra post right here, and we have a couple of stacks of block and a big long piece of board here supporting every one of these joists, which supports every one of these joists, and an extra new joist in here. So we're not just pushing on a standard floor, we've got support down there as well. That way all this weight here transfers through this, through the joist, through the posts, and into the ground. Same with any weight that's going to end up being on this when we start giving more support for these rafters. We can't just keep raising this up and replace the rafter tails, because we're going further up to replace this. And we need to support every one of these rafters that touches that girder. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have to support all 4 of those. We also have to support these 3 over here. So you can see that in a later video. If you want to see more on this house and what we're doing in this house, things like sill plates and rim joists, like these we replaced in here, then look at our playlist, which is real estate investing, or look at our playlist for the Shelton or Gentry house. And you can see all kinds of creative ways to do all kinds of repairs. And this is the most likely place to make or lose money in real estate investing, is in these repairs on these houses. So check those playlists out. Until the next video, we're wishing you all our #insane friends, #insane growth. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, there will also be an episode on this header right here, because I will be replacing this header, not just because it's a little bit rotten right here, but because it's a 2x4 header, and we want a 2x6 header in here. So be on the lookout for that video as well.